Order 06, I'm sorry, at 6 p.m. on, next the date, February 4th, 2025. Members present, myself, Chair Jeffrey Coombe, Marcia Turcott, Nick Interbartolo, also in attendance Curtis Gosling, Paul Vertifay, Fred Collins as CEO, good people of Sumner. First order is, did everyone have a chance to review the minutes from the planning board / select board meeting, which was held last week?
Yes, yes, I did.
We have a motion to accept as written.
I make a motion to accept the minutes as written.
Okay, motion's been made. We have a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor? Alright. Minutes are accepted as written. Pass that up and then back down to normal. Alright. Building notifications. Mr. Henry, 921 Main Street. Mr. Henry submitted a building notification for a 6x6 deck on a camper. State driveway permit needed to be approved prior to building notification review. Mr. Henry, you're here in attendance.
Yes,
So we have a couple of building notifications from you.
right.
I get a third one, I
And-
just haven't put it together yet.
Okay.
That has to go to the state. I don't
Oh, this
see-
goes to the state?
Yeah, it's the state driveway permit. I did make a copy, so I know what you've done.
The first building notification you submitted was for a 6x6 deck.
Right,
So that was for the camper that's located lower
Yes.
in your property?
yes.
Okay, and that's the one we're also waiting for the state's driveway permit, okay. A 6x6 deck, it's small enough where you don't have to submit a building notification for it. I was just curious why you submitted for the deck but not the camper.
There's one in there for camper.
Okay. Okay, so this camper that I have here, this is for also that lower property?
Yes, that's just a big problem, you know. I bought that down in Florida. I got some land down there, and it got hurricaned out, so I brought it back here. Now I have to have a place to store it, and it's pretty much what it is storage.
Okay. Is anyone gonna be living in it?
Not living in it, I might have family stay in it on like 4th of July or something like that, but nobody will be living in it.
Okay,
As you see
so,
now, it's all closed up, winterized.
and the third building notification that you submitted, what was that for?
Garage, I don't know.
Okay, do we have is the garage also in that lower section?
No,
Where's the garage at?
on the
That-
second driveway,
Okay,
up above, yes.
up above. Okay, so right now you have a garage up there, and there's a,
20 by 25 garage,
yeah,
a mobile home, my fifth wheel, and I wanna build a camper, I submitted a drawing for it.
okay. Alright,
And I want a 20 by 25 garage, just like the one I built on the other lot.
okay. So is that same four acre lot, or is that another lot?
4.3, no,
Four,
it's all
yeah,
the same lot.
4.3. And, so you have the garage, and then you have a trailer, and then you have the camper there.
Right,
Alright, and you're gonna figure out how to get the garage in there as well?
right,
Okay,
I submitted a drawing, it should all work out.
okay. We'll need to review this prior to, we won't be able to make a ruling on this today.
Okay,
So, do you have a good contact number so I can give you a call? Is that this number here?
698, yes,
Yep, okay. So, I will review this
okay,
and bring it to the board at our next meeting
all right,
for approval. If everything else is legit, if I have any questions, I'll give you a call
all
personally.
right. And that driveway, I didn't put that driveway in there. It's always been there, there's a culvert there. I did haul in 14 yards of gravel.
Okay,
But there was already gravel there.
yeah,
You know, somebody actually had a driveway there at one time. All
okay.
I was doing was improving it.
Do you have anything, in your file or in your paperwork that says that there was a driveway that was
No, it's,
legitimized by the state or?
I've been living there since 2015, and I bought it from Craig Andrews. You know,
Okay.
so it's always been there, there's a culvert here and everything, so I don't know.
So at this point, you don't have a driveway entrance permit from the state?
No, that's this, I guess I gotta send to the
Yeah,
state now.
you need to get that approved first, and then they can rule on the building notification.
So what I got from the state said that, looks like an obvious change of use, so a new state driveway permit is likely needed.
Yeah, I don't know. All I do is use it for storage down there, as you can see. You drive by, there's a little broken down Subaru I put there, it still runs, I can move it. There's a boat in that camper.
They're talking about the downhill grade of the curve, so I think,
Yeah, if the state approves it, then I don't think it's gonna be an issue, because he's got enough road frontage and he's got enough acreage, so. It's just getting a matter of getting the driveway entrance permit at this point.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I just send this into the,
Yeah, and they'll let you know.
number on there or address to send it to? Would it be the Wilton address at the top?
I don't know, I can't see that application, but it's, you take that off the website?
Yeah,
State website.
we had copies
Okay.
here.
Then that's really all you need at this point. And it just describes where you're locating. And they'll come out and actually look at the spot. And they'll take measurements to see if it's acceptable or not.
That's the only address I see on
Yeah,
there, is
that's
the
it,
one at
that's
the
it,
top.
yeah, that's
the
it.
one. That address at the top.
like you,
Alrighty. Thank you, sir. I'll let you know.
and you have to check about my, new garage I wanna put there, you said?
Yeah, so prior to the planning board, reviewing something, because we have short staff currently, myself has to sit down and review all the building notifications to make sure that everything is legit, that we have all the information, that we meet all setbacks. Once I determine that, then I can go and bring it to the planning board, and we can review the data together, and then make a vote, have a vote on it, and then in the event the vote goes in your favor, we give you a call.
Alright, you think that'll happen before spring? or-
Probably next, planning board
Okay.
meeting,
We
so.
gotta wait and see what the driveway permit,
That has to come through first.
yes, we have to do the driveway permit
And
first.
travel permits, we'll wait on
And
that.
he's planning on putting a septic system in.
No. No, it's just storage, like I said, it's pretty much storage.
The one with the deck as well?
Yes, I built that deck just for somebody to break their neck going up in there,
Right.
you know, me.
You can, somebody could live there for up to 120 days in the summer.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Okay, that's fine.
You know,
As long as you understand that, that'll just be part of the building notification approval. Will state that it's for
Yeah, that's-
a storage unit only.
I can abide by that, so.
Yeah. Okay.
The other thing that I would bring to your attention is, the property owner that abuts your property down there has asked us if somebody is squatting on his land. Now, from what it looks like to us, from what we've looked at, it looks like where you have your stuff is on your property.
It just is.
So I told the young man that if he thinks that you're on his land, that he needs to have it surveyed. I would also suggest to you, if you haven't had it surveyed, just to make sure that you are,
I've walked it twice with GPS,
okay,
and I've actually found 2 of the pins.
okay.
They were right where the thing said it was supposed to be, so if
It's-
I have to believe one side, I have to believe the other.
Yeah.
It all jives on the other side.
That
Everything
sounds
is on
legit,
my land.
that sounds legit, but, you know, if you wanted that extra protection, so, that's all.
If he has a problem with that 15 feet of land that he can actually use right there, then he can have a survey.
Yeah,
You know, 17, 27 acres.
yeah, it's
whatever
not a
it
whole
is.
lot, it's not a whole lot, yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty,
Yeah,
Thank you for your
it's
time.
on my land, I walked it twice with a GPS.
okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
And I thank
Have a
you.
good day.
you too.
I'd like to apologize for my voice currently, folks, so bear with me. Okay, it was requested that Eric Rondon attend tonight's meeting to discuss the driveway that has an entrance / exit on Butterfield Road, Route 140. Building notification and internal plumbing fees have been paid according to Town of Sumner subdivision ordinance. Mobile home parks, Section 5, no mobile home park may have vehicle access may have access directly onto existing public street.
I'm Scott, I'm the owner.
Oh,
Yep.
Okay, Derek works for me, so I'm here.
Okay. So the concern was that, the driveway from one of the, mobile homes goes right to 140.
That's correct, just like it was approved.
So when you say it was approved, what you have here looks like a site plan that was, the town,
It's got a stamp on it at the bottom,
yeah,
approval. And then if you look at the last piece of paper, it actually says that you're giving me that address. That's from the town. So I don't know why I'm here. I
okay.
think it's a waste of time.
So the address, is that,
That's the address. It's a huge waste of time.
so what you're saying is because the town issued an address to the trailer park, that the ordinance that this town has is void, and that the mobile home can have a driveway to the
What I'm
road?
saying is there's approved plans by the town in 2008, which shows the driveway entrance. And the last piece of paper is the address that the town issued for that after that was approved
in 2013.
in 2013. So that's what I'm saying. What's the problem? I mean,
I mean, I feel like the problem is that this site plan was reviewed, to me, it doesn't look like a driveway goes from the mobile home to 140.
see the little cutout?
I see a cutout in the berm.
Yeah.
But there's no indication from what I can see that that a driveway should be going to it.
Okay. I
So-
have one that's a little more clear I can print out, but once you keep those records,
I'm sorry?
I have one that's a little bit clearer that actually shows the driveway into that trailer, and it shows the driveway into the trailer beside it. Once you have that on file, I mean, I can bring that back, but
So,
why would you have issued an address to that drive if it wasn't approved? Why would you issue an address?
I mean, I don't see how the address alone allows a driveway to, a permit was submitted from Mr. McNeil to have a driveway built, and the state said you may build a driveway there. However, it also said you need to be in compliance with local ordinances. And Mr. McNeil was told that you cannot have a driveway there. And at one point, the berm was filled in, the driveway was voided,
What point was that?
2015.
2015.
Well, he's sitting right there, so why don't you ask him?
I mean, he's not the owner.
I know, but you're saying that he didn't have any permits or anything to do it, why'd you issue an address?
I mean, I didn't issue the address.
What the
I
town
don't-
did.
I don't feel like the driveway, the address alone
Okay, so you
allows a
issued,
driveway to void an ordinance.
so why would you issue an address if it was an illegal driveway?
Well,
Because-
wouldn't
would be
the
my
mobile
question.
home with regular access into McNeil Road, wouldn't that address,
It has nothing to do with McGill Road, that is right off from Butterfield Road, that address, if you look at it.
Is there a is there a requirement that an address have a driveway? I don't think that's a.
Oh, is that, okay. Well, I'm not aware of that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I figured you had to have a driveway, have an address, I didn't know you.
I don't think so, no.
Okay,
Is there a state highway permit issued for that address?
I don't know, I didn't own it then. So
So
I
you
have the
need that.
piece of paper from this town that says you gave it an address, and why would you give it an address if nothing existed or it wasn't approved? I'd like to answer that, I don't know.
Dan, do you have anything for us?
I was just curious, how do your
do they run all, do your addresses run all the same? Is there like a break off?
So in the mobile home park, they're all McNeilis Way except for this address, which is 222 Butterfield Road,
Right.
because they issued the address in
But those
2013.
two, is it two homes on that drive?
Well, there's really only one, I think.
And
We
are
don't
there
have the
mailboxes
other
there? Are there mailboxes on?
I don't know. It's right there. I didn't put the mailboxes in. I didn't put the driveway in. I'm just here with the information that I got.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought you,
Nope, I just bought it and all of a sudden it's a problem.
but you don't know where your mailboxes are?
I don't know. No, I know the ones that are on McNeil's Way, yes.
Yes.
Yes. So I don't
And
know.
those two homes, do they receive their mail?
Okay, so there's only one that's occupied right now, and I don't know where the mailbox is. I'd have to go look.
No.
Maybe Cliff knows, I don't know, I didn't put in any
I'm just
mailboxes.
curious if these homes were given addresses from the is it the
McNeil.
McNeil Road? Were they given in that orientation? Not necessarily
So it
from the
says,
Greenwood
it says on the
side.
piece of paper that I gave him that originally,
Not Greenwood.
originally
Yeah.
this 222 Butterfield Road was formerly McNeil's Way. So at one time it might have had a McNeil's address, and then the town issued it an address off from Butterfield Road. So it says right at the bottom of the piece of paper,
45 to
222.
222.
And that's issued from the town. I have no idea why you'd send that out if it wasn't a real road.
Well, I issue addresses often,
Oh,
and if somebody decides, like Mr. McNeil says, I want an address in this spot right here, the addressing officer that worked for the town at that point would just go out there and say, okay, this is what the number would be.
oh,
If it's an approved driveway entrance. But
okay.
it still has to be approved by the state
Okay.
as well as the town local ordinance.
So,
And from what I gather, it's written in the ordinance that it's not allowed, is that correct?
that's what we have for information.
Okay. And if it's written as a ordinance, then we have to follow what the ordinance says.
Well, I mean, Cliff's right here, you can ask him. If not, I'll come back with some more information, because I think this whole thing's kind of strange when the town's issuing an address formally of the other address. And that's mapped, and you can see the break on the map where the driveway would be. I got a better map that shows the actual driveway, if that's not good enough for you. There's a break in that berm right on that map where that driveway is.
Do you have that whole packet that I gave to you? Is that?
This one?
You know, I printed it off today
One
too.
that I pulled out of this file.
I looked it over, but there's a lot to it.
That's the fire.
Yeah, so. Have you all looked through it? This was what I sent to everybody so they can take a look at it. I don't know if there's something in here that actually says that it was approved.
Yeah, I see
I see the applications. You wanna see this?
Yeah, if you want, sorry. That's
This letter from the state says that 2 of the 3 driveways have a Maine DOP permit, while the other is an older driveway and does not meet today's standards. This comes from the state, sent to Mr. McNeil.
What's the date on that?
Doesn't look like it's dated.
I'm like,
Oh, yes, here we go, 06.
So that
January
was in
06.
06, but in 13, they approved the address,
Well,
so it's very possible something,
an address can be approved by,
An address in this
you
town.
don't necessarily have to have anything like that, so. But the state says
So that-
2 out of the 3 driveways.
So a lot of things could have happened since 2006.
so it
Right,
was
like it could have been
approved in
approved, who
2014.
knows?
Well, the state says it's not approved.
That was
In
in 06.
2006.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of things could have happened since 2006. Do you agree with that?
Yep, then you'd
Okay.
have to resubmit your application to the state.
It could have been already done. 2006 is a couple of years ago.
Yes, that's true.
Okay, so you don't have anything current from the state that says it's a problem?
Correct.
You have something that's like almost 20 years old that you said
so
is
you
a
had to
problem?
resubmit.
Okay.
And we have to follow our ordinance.
Oh, okay. So all of a sudden, a document that's 20 years old is relevant today and it's a problem?
That's correct.
Okay, That sounds
So
strange.
would the state have any record that it was approved after the fact? So that in 2013, when the town approved the address, there was an actual road?
I
It was-
contacted the state and that, packet he's holding was everything they sent me.
So unless you can
I mean,
produce
you can-
something that's more,
That's not 19 years old?
yeah, right,
Yeah, okay. We'll work on that.
and you can still resubmit it, but it's not gonna help because our ordinance says that it's not allowed. I guess that's where the problem lies.
So if I find that it's been permitted, are you gonna pay me back for my time, or what happens here? And
It's
all of a
been
sudden,
permitted, it's
19 years
grandfathered.
ago, yeah.
Right? If it's been permitted, it's grandfathered,
If
so what
what's
the
permitted.
ordinance is now
It's
does not
what's,
apply.
it's what's permitted.
I said if that road was permitted, which is why they addressed gave the address
Well,
in
if
2013.
the state permitted it,
Correct.
then
And
we'd
it's
have to
supersede your
look at that,
ordinance.
I guess.
We should have looked at it when we made a big deal of it, right?
Well, this,
Well, we can't find anything that says it was permitted.
Did the state permit it?
I appreciate being here this evening. I'm quite surprised the board is full. We could have had a board like that years ago. It was wonderful, so I appreciate seeing you guys. I do have all the permits, and there's 2 other permits that were issued by the state that I've never installed there, but the one that people were referring to in 2015 that I ended up putting the berm back is right directly across from the railroad drive. We have GPS coordinates on that permit for that particular driveway that, when Wally was chair of the board, and, we cut into that berm, because that was another old state entrance back in 1976 map, but we didn't have it at that time, my surveyor. I forget one thing, what is the year of the subdivision plan?
this one's dated 2008.
2008.
Correct.
Okay, then in 2006, I did my first subdivision plan for 5 lots, and then like a couple of years later, we added the 11. And so in 1976, the state took some of my grandfather's property and built what you have there. The McNeil Road digressed from a state road down to the town road and got named that. So in regards to, you know, that berm that got filled up, but the document that I sent to you, is it Homer?
Yes.
Yeah, it refers to a entrance, if you use GPS coordinates, of 1,050 feet from the bridge going towards East Sumner. So that would be, that would be the permit for that particular drive. Now, one thing we wanna keep in mind here is even the state does it, and I hear all of us doing it, interchangeable, the word driveway and road. Sometimes things are referred to as road, some is drive. That particular drive was considered a road, meaning the McNeil Road can tee off and exit or be hot topped out. And that was one of the things back then that we were concerned with is fire trucks and emergencies, and not the bottleneck 16 homes on just 2 ends. So that's actually considered a road, meaning it could tee over to the McNeil Road and be hot topped. So I do have the permit for that. And one of I believe the letter you're referring to refers to, at one point, McNeil Road wasn't always completely open. There was a time when they were going to consider on the north end closing it and get shifted around there. But when you're considering a subdivision plan, and when you guys refer to the word map, are you referring to the subdivision plan of 2008, the one that Danny signed off on and Ed and Jeff? Whenever you guys approve a subdivision, you have the findings of fact. And do you have a copy of the findings of fact? It should be.
Yes, I don't know if it's in there, but
It
it's
says that
definitely in the other one.
Yeah, the findings of fact that refer to the fact that the driveway permits were submitted and approved. However, in the findings of fact, which is like the holy bible of a planning board approving a subdivision, because that's what we would go back to at that time, And I do have within that thumb drive or something, the actual subdivision plan up to date of 2008 that would be what would be used to govern that subdivision unless something, the elements were remodeled in a way that would nullify it or something like that, which at this point, nothing has been done there. But the findings of fact say that the permits are submitted. And what I need you to take into consideration is the plan that got approved does have that entrance cut into the plan that was signed off. So there's 3 entrances to the park. We call it McNeil Road and that other entrance. So there's like 3 entrances to the park. And that GPS, coordinate of 1,050 feet is the center of that road. I call it a road.
Can I just stop you right there?
Sure.
So the 3 entrances you are considering, so can you be specific on that?
Yeah,
So the end by Ralph Dunn's,
right, the
and then
bridge.
the end by the bridge.
And this middle one halfway of the sphere, the one in question you're talking about, now, we all know that things can get done erroneously sometimes, so just because an officer, a 911 officer should issue something for a designation of a postal, it doesn't mean that it codifies or overrules a state rule or a planning board. So it isn't so much a hang up on 22 McNeil Road or not in regards to that. It's what was signed off on at the time in 2008. And even though the findings of fact, which is that bottom page right there, yeah, that there's 2 pages to it, everything was satisfied, and then you would turn around and sign the map, and the map does show that those 3, I'm calling it entrance, now you can call the entrance a road or a driveway, but there is 3 entrances that go with that.
I have a question. Your first statement, when you just started talking, you mentioned another entrance that was opened up. And then you filled.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
I think.
You had that, you had amended, you guys got the best of me after a year and a half because you had amended the ordinance that you were referencing. I did not know that, I was still looking at my old plans. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
So I called another member of the board at the time who seemed to, Richard Estes,
Oh, yeah.
and he seemed to remember a driveway being filled, put in and closed.
Yeah, that's right across from Railroad Drive,
Okay.
directly across.
That's,
Andy got me on that one, remember?
yes.
Yeah.
And
That was,
That's
so-
not the entrance we're talking about now.
No, but I think that's the one I thought we were talking about.
yeah, I got plenty of photographs.
Okay,
And I got that permit too, and that one there, I believe the GPS coordinates is something around 625 would be
Yeah.
the center of that one.
Okay.
That's the one that you and I and Wally, we
yes,
spent a year and a half haggling over, and finally I decided to give up.
yeah,
But
right.
what we are, this one that we're talking about that has GPS coordinates of 1050, is, that was already on your subdivision, they got signed 2 different times.
Well,
when it was
I can
filed
tell
out.
you that it really doesn't matter what the planning board approved for driveway entrances. We have to follow what the state approved. And
Right,
at this point, with this letter telling me only 2 driveway entrances were approved.
yeah, that, sir, that has absolutely nothing to do with where we're at today in regards to what was done in 2008 and 2006. And so what they're.
The town can be more restrictive, but not less restrictive than the state. So if you've got a 3rd driveway entrance permit that feeds into McNeil Road or driveway, that's fine, but we have to see that first. Please understand that.
So I completely humbly respect what you're saying. So the state had the verbiage in regards to not having mobile home driveways directly intersect a state or a town road, a state road. They didn't care about the town road. So like when I started the subdivision, people didn't want a mobile home park period, which I agree, I understand the semantics behind it, but the state law supersedes allowing a mobile home park. However, they, they're not going to take
This is always there.
an ordinance that doesn't have any wording about a mobile home park and insert theirs.
I
So
don't remember the
our
discussions about
ordinance,
that, but it was
our
always
ordinance,
open.
our plan, our ordinance was up to that time I did the, you know, the
That was
subdivision
open.
in 2006 and 2008.
Had
Had zero language about mobile home, we didn't even have in those days wording.
Yeah, no, he's
So-
sworn to Bibles, I took it.
So after 2008, there was,
It's been there.
we all, I mean, I was involved with it too, with all the ordinances, we had some ramping up of the ordinances. And we brought that, we cut that language out of the state law and put it into our ordinance. But that is well down the road after this subdivision was approved.
But the driveway was not there at that time.
So that driveway, I put that driveway in like 1993, and I didn't even ask for a permit from it until I was going to do the subdivision. I became licensed with the state in 2001 for a mobile home park. At that time, I had 3 lots. That's what constituted a mobile home park in the state of Maine. The reason is, I had 2 lots on one side of McNeil Road, 1 on the other. When I allowed you guys to discontinue McNeil Road and it became private property back to my land, that created a violation with the state, because 3 or more homes rented to the public on a parcel of property constitutes a mobile home park. So that's when I got that permit, and then resubmitted, you know, submitted the paperwork again in 2006 when Wally and all of us wanted to get together and we did the 5-lot subdivision to start with. So in 2006, you approved a subdivision using the same findings of fact that shows that driveway entrance, whatever you wanna call it, entrance, whether it's a road or entrance, and then 2 years later, vamped that up from 5 to 11, we added 11 more, so it was 16, and the same thing got approved. So like, honestly, at this point, you're just spinning the wheels to even mess with 3 entrances to that mobile home park. There's nothing to be had here.
So in our ordinance, it says, no lot in a mobile home park shall have vehicle access directly onto an existing public street.
Can you please see the year we cut and pasted that into our ordinance and amended our ordinance? Look at the turn to the last page and read the amendments.
So prior to this year, was that driveway being used like it's being used now?
Well, of course.
It was?
Those have been intended, those are, it doesn't matter if they're being used or not, they're on the plan. I mean, if for some reason you don't rent a lot for a year or 2 and you don't have to, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I think what needs to be done to clear this up is that it should be required to hot top from Route 140 to the McNeil Road. I don't care if it's a T or some degree, so that you've got 3 hot top
That would be,
driveways.
that would be the owner's call.
Right, but but for future
It
generations.
doesn't change the fact that right now, those mobile homes that are there, is it 1 or 2?
Yeah.
They have the driveway to the road?
But I beg you to understand this, you have a schematic mobile home park plan. It's, that entrance does not serve 2 homes, that can serve 16 homes. If everyone in the park decides to drive out that dirt driveway that I'm saying should be hot topped, to clarify this up, it doesn't matter if everyone in the park wants to drive out on the bridge end in Buckfield and Sumner's end, or go out that, it doesn't matter.
So you're saying it's not a
a
driveway to
road.
one home, it's a road to the
It's a
entire
road,
park?
It's a road to connect
the reason
McNeil Road.
well, it's for fire trucks, ambulance, and the whole 9 yards. Don't get hung up on the fact that because we came in years later and vamped up our ordinance, that you take something and you go back to an old subdivision and force a whole subdivision. Now, if he did something.
Was that always in the ordinance?
No,
Driveways need setbacks.
that
There's
was
no way
cut-
to get through those
what
two mobile homes.
if you look at the subdivision, it's in the thumb and drive, you will not see any wording. That subdivision that I use, our subdivision, from 1988, when the state required us to start this, in 1988 until maybe 2010, we had about 5 pages to our subdivision. It's fat now, because if you look in your last page, you'll see the amount of amendments that we've had. But those amendments did not come until maybe 2010 and after. So what would constitute him doing something wrong is if you went down there and you saw 25 homes being rented. That would justify creating a new subdivision, and then you guys would spell out what you want. Or if he did anything other than have 16 mobile homes down there, a residential home, it's a residential business.
Did you ever receive word that you were not to use that as a driveway or a road or anything?
Never. I mean, nobody, why, the plan, you know,
The only one that was the one you were.
the one that we all had the biff over, and that was 2015. I've got pictures of standing in, Andy and I stood in the Railroad Drive. It's directly across, that has nothing to do with that one up the street, honestly. Honestly, it has nothing to do, and.
So right here in your own paperwork that you gave us, it lists what I just read. No law in a mobile home park shall have vehicle access to an existing road. This is the paperwork you
I
just gave
understand,
us.
but that's a quote out of an amended Sumner subdivision plan years after the 2006 and 2008 was.
Right, and then
was
you
approved.
received a letter from the town saying that you couldn't have
The
a
driveway that we're
driveway, a
talking
quote.
about in 2015. 2015, I took an excavator, cut into that berm, took about 6 12-yard wheelers of loam, set it off in the park, and put a driveway in, and then sat back and waited for you guys to see what you were gonna do. And it took about 9 months before Wally and the planning board, and then we've got all these letters that Richard
trying to
Trafton
work
wrote
with
back
you. You
and
really
forth.
are, but
Yeah,
But that's the
See where
fourth
we're at.
entrance is what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Cliff,
yeah.
right?
That's the fourth one.
That's the fourth
There
one,
are
which is
three-
now
you really
closed
do
there
have
are
work
three-
to do.
yeah, I know, it just didn't seem like there was a lot of fact finding, and I flew back from Florida just for this meeting, and I got all this information that said it's been there. He said he cut it in 1993. You're talking about 2 different driveways. You sent him a letter on one that he filled in. This one's been here since 1993.
Bill Austin retired from the MDOT. He was there 30 years. His last letter in 2000 and what is it, 16 or something, or 2006 or whatever. Everything is GPS coordinated and taken care of. That this gravel driveway is 1,050 feet GPS from the intersection on the McNeil Road on the bridge end. And if you go and roll your measure, you come right up to the middle of the driveway.
And you have that driveway entrance permit application,
It's right here in,
that
Can
particular
you
one?
tell me which one that is?
is this the?
Is that the
this
packet he gave you?
Is this the PD file that I sent you?
Yes.
Okay. Alright, so. So, of course, I haven't had a minute to read up on this, so. Let's see. Okay, so this one here, you see the one that says after I purchased, from Norm Hagan? This one here, this permit here, 5,350, that is the well-done entrance one, we call it.
Okay.
And then. The one down on, okay, so the 2006 letter you're referring to, I'm seeing it here, dated January 27th, is that the one?
January 26th, 06.
January 26th or 27. Can I steal your letter? So, yeah, January 27, we're looking at the same date. Yeah, so this here, if you look at the date on the 2006 plan, we didn't approve that, I believe, until August. So this was the MDOT's synopsis of how things were in 2006 in January, when Bill came out to see things, and all three, I found that all three driveways meet and exceed. The driveway closer to the bridge as well needs to be there. 2 of the 3 have a permit, which would be the gravel one we're talking about now, and the Ralph Dunn one that I applied for after Norm Hagan from the state sold me some of the state road that they bought for my grandfather. They bought more land than they needed, so I wanted to get some of it back to go to the park so that I'd have enough acreage to do what I want. So when Norm did that, we figured, well, let's get a permit for that one and peg it down by by giving it the 5,000, whatever he said there, I can't remember. I had a little stroke, so remembering things right, the details. So 2 of the 3, while the older driveway does, okay, so the older driveway is the south one, about 100 feet up from the Iron Bridge. That one's never had a permit, cause it's always been State Route 140. That's never been altered. The only one that's been altered was the Ralph Dunham, when we put up a berm, I bought some land and we shortened the McNeil Road a little bit. We got a permit there. And then this other one here that I'm referring to. Let's see here. Alright, so let's go back through this here. So that's that one there. Let's see, located north end of McNeil Road. Okay.
Can I show this to them? Let's go.
That's the 19-year-old letter, that's all this on from today. 19-year-old letter, that's probably today.
Yeah, I
We're
have it,
still
I have to
missing the
get my
information.
laptop out, so.
So
So-
they met their feet.
While I'm looking for that, do you have another question?
No, we're just wanting that permit, that's the piece that's missing.
Well,
If we had it, we all could go home tonight, right
Well-
now.
yeah, it's,
This is during the 5-lot subdivision, so that doesn't make sense. That's way prior to any approval or anything
We
that you
don't
had.
have anything, we have nothing
Well-
saying that that's an
So
approved.
why is today an issue and 19 years ago?
Well, I wish we could ignore all letters that went back 20 years from the state. That would be great,
I
but
mean,
we
I got
can't do
permits
that.
here 6 months ago and you guys lost them all and I had to come back and show you the canceled check, so I'm just wondering why all of a sudden today this is a problem.
well, the,
I could speak to that. I just actually want to apologize to you for the condition of our clerk in our office losing your information. and
Yeah,
the
no
work
problem
that-
at all, but
I
I'm just
do
wondering, this
apologize.
is like snowballing, you know what I mean? Like it's one problem after another.
Yeah.
Like we're talking 19 years ago,
Sure.
it's a problem today. Doesn't that seem weird?
Yeah,
That somebody's trudging up some stuff and there's another issue that I don't
yeah,
know
well,
about.
I deal with a lot of stuff that goes back more than 20
Yeah,
years, and that's a
okay.
problem, but
I don't know if we're
We still have
trudging
to
it up.
follow
We're-
state law.
We're a new board, we have a brand new select board, we're trying to clean things up,
yeah,
not
here it
trudge
is right
things up.
here. I knew I had it. So it's this one right here that says 1,050. This is, yeah, this is the one right here, that one project, that's just to get my, yeah, so this is the permit for that driveway. You'll see the GPS, it says 101050. And if you have any questions, then you just have the state take that permit number and flag it out for you, but, I mean, the planning board signed 2 subdivision plans.
Says Route 40 McNeil Road intersection.
Yeah, 115 north.
Yeah, that would be, everything is always, the McNeil Road intersection would be the south end, the Buckfield end, where they use that as a reference point, and then they take a wheel on you know what I'm saying,
Measure
and
it,
just
will ya?
walk their way up the road.
What is the date on that permit? Do you remember, Cliff?
What does it say? But I have the other permit, the one that he had to skirmish over, and I have that one too, and pictures and stuff, but that's the one that, you know, Richard drafted and, John Maloney spent 6 months writing letters back and forth, and we thought we got it the next day, you guys, but ultimately, it wasn't, it wasn't on the plan.
Yeah.
So if I called you up and you guys, I would have had to reimburse a lot of money back to you guys over a stupid driveway because it wasn't in the plan. You know, the biggest
Well,
thing.
that's why I called him today, because he made
Yeah,
it sound like it was this one here,
yeah,
and
See-
I didn't get that clarification
Yeah.
till you just
Yeah.
said that.
now he's the one of the 3 that approved the subdivision in 2008, and I don't know who did it in 2006, but there's nothing, you know, we can have other meetings to further in time understand things, but at this point, I wouldn't waste your time on it. You guys have got a lot to do ahead.
What was the date on that permit that Cliff just found?
It's 2001, June 27th, 2001.
And that's, you know, you gotta remember, that's the year I got licensed, and the state wouldn't give me a license until I had, you know, adequate, you know,
So,
like,
That's the
adequate-
3rd entrance?
So we're trying to figure that out now, Fred.
When did the mobile home park expand?
I started the park in 1993. I asked this, then in order to get a license, I realized after the town discontinued the McNeil Road, I had 2 homes on one side, one on the other, and the land became mine. It went back as it was, so I was in violation with the state, and then they said I had to have a license or get rid of a home. So I got licensed in 2001, that's when I got the permit for that gravel driveway that I had put in years earlier, because obviously the McNeil Road was hot topped with a yellow line at that time, and it was very obvious if you come off the bridge that, yeah, that was Route 140. It is, so there's no question you came in one end and went off the other.
So, but 1993, you build the mobile home park, you add the driveway.
When we say park, you gotta remember,
It was 3.
it wasn't until 2008 that 2006. In other words, when you say park, don't think of what there is now. Think of a pioneering process over many years. And
But when did it expand to the 15?
it was,
Oh, wait.
the state, I never had a subdivision, I never had a subdivision in 2001. The first subdivision, which is recorded in the registry, which is the 2006 for 5 homes. Cause I had 3 and I wanted to expand, so I brought in 2 more. And in 2006, we had the surveyors and the engineer sign off in 2006 with the findings of fact. And then everyone, David Bragg and different ones on the board, well, you know what you're gonna do, let's just get this done and over with. So I came in a year or so later and wanted to expand it 11 more homes for, now I could, you know, I wanted to do 11 and everyone graciously went along with it, and then, you know, you have the findings of fact and everything,
So
so
that was in 08.
2008.
That's this one. So, and then were there any other expansions after 2008? That was it.
No.
Okay.
Now, no, there never would be. No, there isn't unless, you know, the new owner wants to do something. The only thing I think needs to be done to clear this up in the future is you guys just need to make him hot top off McNeil Road, T over to, go from Route 140 to McNeil Road, put a hot top driveway, and just hot top, it's all gravel through there, then there isn't this issue. And if everyone in the park wants to exit that, then that's the prerogative. If not, anything you guys can do.
Thank you, Cliff. The planning board is not trying to make the park do anything. We're just trying to uphold the rules and the ordinances that, now, our understanding was that in '08, there was the plan, which was signed by the planning board, for the park. And according to that plan, there was 2 entrances. So, when we got one of our first storms, folks were driving by, myself included, and when I drove by, I saw what looked like it had just been plowed, where someone was using it as a driveway. So when I saw that, that's what I was like, okay, we review the ordinances. The ordinances say the park shall not have any entrances other than the 2 that are permitted. We looked at the site plan, it looked like there was 2. So, like, you're not being headhunted, no one's coming after you, and it doesn't seem like we're gonna make you hot top anything, you know, to alleviate this. So, I just wanted you to know where we were coming from.
Okay.
Now-
There's just a lot of stuff that happened in a short amount of time in
Yeah.
a very small town, so
It-
it seemed kind of weird.
It is, that's the kind of how the events took place. As far as the building notifications, they came in February, almost a year ago, February 6th, 2024, and they were incomplete. And we looked at them, we let Mr. Grondin know what the expectations were from us, and he left. And then we didn't really hear anything from him.
We came back with those.
I
So-
personally emailed them
personally
over
did
to
that.
someone in
They
this office.
were brought over.
Yeah.
We found it. We know that you paid, so, you know, we're not trying to shake you down for any cash.
No, I mean, we brought in
It's
the
nothing
canceled
like
check,
that.
so obviously you're not gonna shake us down for cash, but it's
So-
just a lot of effort
So,
for something that we already did one time.
And-
And then now we're on this stupid road thing that was dug out 93. He told my guy that he thought I dug it out when I bought the park.
Wow.
And we tried to tell him no, but.
Say
he
that
didn't.
again?
Did you tell my guy that you thought we dug that road out? We
No,
took
I
an
did not say
excavator?
that.
You
So-
never asked him if we dug that berm out.
I did not.
The only,
Okay,
So-
he must have lied to me, that's fine.
so that's the kind of what happened, why we're here today. So the building notifications still need some work. We don't have numbers, we don't know where things are. We want to have Mr. Grondin in. I'm willing to meet with him and basically to have the building notifications lined out. This mobile home is here, this is all the information for it, so we can move forward.
We pretty much did everything. She
So we
nailed it
had all
down.
of the serial numbers.
Bill of sales.
I'm sorry, what was your name, ma'am?
My name's Sheena Blake.
Okay,
I was the
Sheena.
office manager at the time.
We had the numbers, the lots laid out on a map.
Excuse me.
We still have all that stuff.
Okay, so would it make more sense to meet with you sometime, so I can make sure?
Well, what are we meeting about?
So,
I mean, you needed serial
basically-
numbers. We provided the number of plots, the number of serial numbers in consecutive order of where they were located. I mean, I'm not sure what meeting.
Is that
would
the
be.
original notification that you all sent in last February?
So in February, Eric, I believe, submitted the original permit and it was missing some serial numbers.
Yeah, it was missing 2. I was at that meeting, so
Okay.
we talked about him
And-
getting those other 2, and then we've had some issues with our staff in the office, which has all been taken care of, but that particular notification was lost, shredded, who knows what happened.
And we provided the additional serial numbers when we were able to obtain them from the mobile homes, and we thought everything was in compliance. And I don't even work there anymore, but,
Paid the money, told her all set.
right,
So with the building notifications we have, they're, for right now, which were submitted by Mr. Grondin, there's a lot of confusion and they're not filled out all the
I'm
way.
just having a hard time the lot numbers that are on the building notifications, some of them don't match what we have that you submitted for serial numbers with certain lots, so I've got like 5 done, but the others, I just can't make sense of them.
So, let me reiterate, the issue is you don't know which lot number goes with which serial number, is that the issue?
Correct, yeah.
That's where we're at.
Right, that's
So if we just say this serial number is lot 12 or whatever,
Right.
that would be acceptable.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Well,
I guess we
may
can
I
jump.
jump in here? I'm hearing lot and mailing address. For John and Donald Feldman, we stopped referring to things by the subdivision lot numbers. We only use the mailing addresses.
okay, so.
Right, so
Okay,
that's
because
the
they're not the
discrepancy.
same.
Then
Yeah.
let's get the mailing addresses.
Right,
So-
see, so we were
And so
doing
we were
lot
doing lot
numbers,
numbers,
and we
yes.
just found out that the mailing addresses are different. So
Okay.
we're changing lot numbers to mailing addresses, so all the trailers have a 911 number of the
That's,
mailing address.
that's great.
On
And I would actually prefer that because
Mhm.
of obvious reasons,
Yes.
so.
So
Yeah.
that's
if-
where the
if
confusion
we
was,
can
I
get-
was doing
if
it
we
by
can
lot
get-
number based on the plan.
Yep,
So
You
we
guys are
can,
looking
we
at
can
it
get you
by
2 plans,
street number.
the lot number and the mailing address, and you can put those together, so you have all the numbers straight.
That would be
sounds good.
wonderful.
Okay.
It's easy.
So, once that's done, then we can approve. If there's
Yeah.
any other issues with certain
Well,
homes.
I know we did start with lot numbers and with the mailing addresses, and that's what we
Okay.
got.
Okay, so,
We're not even talking about lot numbers anymore. We're
No,
just doing
we're
lot
not.
numbers.
that sounds good, because that doesn't mean anything.
But that's all we had in
Yeah.
the meeting was lot numbers, and then we met with Cliff, and we got addresses.
Okay,
Okay.
so, once that's done, we can review this as a board. If there's any continuing issues, we will pass that notification off to another time until any sort of issues can get resolved. But the ones that don't have issues, we will get those, we will review them. If everything's fine, we'll take a vote, and then we'll get in touch with Mr. Grondin, I believe, he's the manager
Yep.
of your,
I've
You
got
can get-
Melanie's
you can get in touch with them.
email.
Yeah.
okay, and let him know which addresses have been approved, so we can go from there until we get the whole thing resolved. Okay?
So you said that you had
Which-
some of them already figured out that there were 5, can you tell us which 5 you don't have, so we're not reinventing the wheel here?
These ones are ours.
Any roof over them?
Oh, okay.
So you can't give those ones away.
You can just email that information, I don't need it right now.
Yeah, that has to be done too,
Yeah, so
because that's in the shoreline zoning.
I'm looking at
Here,
the,
if you fold this over, you would have it in the folder.
You can just email that over, I don't need it today, then we can respond with the right map or whatever you need.
Do you wanna just make a photocopy of this?
It's okay, you can just email that, and then we can
The
respond
ones
with the
I
map.
think that I've done, now we're not sure about this one because. of
We have- We have
yellow piece, we
The
should
yellow
just
piece.
all water down here.
You can have these if you need them, I made copies, so we still have ours, but
You guys all set with me? Any more questions?
these are the ones that are complete.
Anyone have any questions for Cliff?
So the complete ones we don't need, just the
No,
ones
we
that
got
we
a
saw
driveway entrance
questions,
permit,
so.
right? Correct?
Yep.
And if you wanna just put these all together like Scott said, you can
Email
mail.
Email them to Melanie.
Yeah. I think you've got some-
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you tell him about the address change, the address thing that you picked up on?
Yeah, that was what I was gonna ask you.
So in the front response, this is probably my fault, so we didn't have services, we just had it on the map with lot numbers, and so that's what we went by. And
Yeah, so we can send you the true map, so you can
Okay.
put it
Yeah.
together.
It doesn't say that that's the particular
What is that?
driveway. Did you do the
Fred.
ordinance of that?
Has this been,
Right.
I'm gonna pass that to Fred, and then, has that been
He
completed?
knows.
These are just all the building.
yellow.
Are
Same
these,
thing.
are these issues still in
I
existence?
haven't inspected all of that yet.
Okay,
Right.
okay.
And I'm not sure where the shoreline zoning mark is.
Yeah.
I know that, I saw
In other
references
words,
to
I wanted
FEMA,
you to know that.
the elevations, so it tells me that
Yeah.
it's close to the river.
Cindy
Yeah.
Norton was the building officer.
If it's within 250 feet, they have rules, states have rules, so.
Yeah.
That's the roof.
Oh, okay, all
I'm
right.
sorry?
That's the roof over the oil things?
Yes.
Wrote mailing addresses, she
Okay.
assigned mailing addresses to
Okay.
McNeil Road.
If I
And
look at the files,
that was the
probably
end
fine.
of Cindy. Because
I
it
could
was
probably
really
get in
two
touch with her
precincts.
too.
So O'Donnell would never be known about lot numbers, would they?
Yeah, it's more confusing for them.
You can't see any of them. I know.
Do you know where the,
No, I got this here.
do you know where
But
the
I'm more like talking about like when it comes to the driveway stuff.
Okay. So they're not,
So I don't know
You know what I
where the
mean?
river lies here.
I think this is 250.
So I think the oil
This
tank
line.
you're talking about
That's a 250.
isn't part of,
Yeah, 250
Mobile home
shoreline
park.
zone, so I think it's okay.
Okay, so they're all okay.
Unless it's
right,
like
the
this
oil
one
tank you're
maybe.
talking about now being
This
too
one
close to
maybe.
the water has nothing to do with the park.
I don't know if it's homes on
That
the
goes
map.
to the house, right?
So this
It's
stack line
separate.
is a two, is
Yeah,
a
this
one.
one right here.
What is it now?
I don't know, they're talking
Yeah.
about
Here.
something being
Is
too
that-
close to the
Hey
shore
Fred,
line.
can you explain what you guys are talking about?
Well, we're looking, I just don't know exactly where the 250-foot shoreline zoning mark is, but it looks like they're outside of that, so it may not matter.
Yeah, there's 4 homes in shoreline zoning and 11,
I'm sorry?
Yeah, there's 4 that are
4
in.
in.
4, so
Yeah.
just those 4 would have to deal with them.
Yeah, so that, what we're talking about, sorry, is the oil tanks having a roof over them. I think this came up at the February 6th planning board with
Mr.
is it
Grondin.
Scott.
With Eric.
Or, yeah, sorry, Eric. So
I
just
mean,
for
the
the
thing
ones
is,
inside the-
honestly, like, unless you're gonna go through the entire town and every home in shoreline zoning requires someone to have something special over their tank, let the DEP worry about that stuff. The state was in there every couple
No,
times
Cliff,
a year.
I'm gonna stop you right there.
They
I'm gonna stop you right
they
there.
inspect
Here's the
the
reason
water.
why. If we're gonna be signing off on building notifications, we're the ones putting our names on it.
Mhm.
We're gonna make sure that we're following all the rules before we go any further, because I don't wanna put the town in a position where DEP comes after us or comes after them, probably comes after us because we're the ones allowed it. So, like, we're gonna follow the rules that the state lays out, we're gonna follow the rules that DOP,
Yeah, has there been
DEP sets out.
is there an amendment for that from mobile home parks? I'm just curious.
I don't know.
It's a
off the
fairly
top of
new
my head.
law.
Yeah,
It's fairly new
I don't
law.
know.
I mean, do definitely obey the law,
Yes,
but,
we will be obeying the law.
but, you know.
And we're not trying to run anyone through the.
Yeah,
the
I'm
ringer
just saying,
either.
when you start singling out a particular business, I'm not saying you're doing it, but there are towns that single out, and in the long run, they pay a lot out.
We're just singling out the mobile homes that are within the 250 shoreline, so that we're in compliance with state
Because
law.
that's what's coming before our board now.
And I believe.
Anything
yeah,
that's been done prior, we can't be concerned about.
And I believe some of them are propane, but anyway,
So what are the issues? I guess
It's just the 4.
Fred, go ahead and.
There's 4, the new law says anything within the shoreline zoning for oil tanks has to be covered and within a berm. It's pretty simple, but has to be done because of,
And which
if it
4
leaks,
are they, do you know?
well, we can show you.
Number 5,
Yeah, I'm
number
looking at the
17,
subdivision.
Yeah.
Not 95.
No lots, only addresses.
Yeah, I don't know what those
Well,
are.
like,
Yeah.
so anyways, it looks like the town's in good hands with you folks. It's nice to come back and see a full board, and it's very impressive.
So where are we at on the driveway?
So,
Yeah, we just need proof that we have driveway entrance permits and it's not violating our ordinance. Because our ordinance can be more restrictive than the state. And if our ordinance says only 2 driveway entrances onto this, then that's what we have to follow.
But if your
There was-
ordinance was after the permit originally was approved, your ordinance does not supersede that.
I'm sorry, say that again?
If your ordinance was amended and put into effect after the permit was approved, I believe in 2001, and is what Cliff said.
more restrictive is referring to square footage for real estate. Meaning this.
Any law,
Yeah, meaning the state they'll allow a mobile home in shoreline zoning down to 20,000 square feet.
Right.
But Sumner has insisted, like some towns, to maintain their minimum lot size. So for us, it's 2 acres, that's why you have 4 homes in shoreline zoning, because that's all it's allowed. But if the state was to supersede and say,
Yeah.
you have to allow them to go down to 20,000, you would have had a lot more homes in there. Now, maybe in 10 years from now, if you guys decide to knock the shoreline zoning down so that it's only an acre per home or something, and he wanted to come in and do a new subdivision, bring in more homes or something, that's when that would be applicable. Does that make sense?
well, yeah, this is
That's
15,
for the,
15 plus acres on this lot, what I gathered, right?
Exactly.
There's 15 plus acres on this particular lot.
Yeah, what, the calculation, it's very important to follow the calculation on the shoreline, on the map, on the subdivision plan. You see, is there a subdivision plan in the park in front of you?
Like the, I have the site.
Well, 2008.
2008 site.
It's this one here.
Yeah,
All
Let-
oil tanks.
let me,
Let
let me,
That's what it sounds like, it sounded like more.
I calculated that today, in theory, you can get more than what you got allowed at 15.
If you guys-
If the town
well,
does.
no,
So you can do it.
if you guys change the
Make it
minimum
simple.
lot size from 2 down to an acre or something, but, you know, you never have. So that calculation is saying what was current in 2008, based on the fact that you haven't modified your minimum 2-acre lot. So if you did that, then that would be where that's why the two calculations are on the plan.
So that's for the shoreline zoning, but back to the entrance, and the whole reason we were here tonight. Are we in compliance now that we found the 2001 permit? Because your ordinance was put into effect after that permit in 2001.
We need to answer that question, to be
Well,
sure.
if she's right, I mean, if the ordinance was amended prior to that,
After the fact.
after that,
After
then
the
they
fact,
would be
yeah.
grandfathered for that.
Correct.
Do you guys, can you print out the ordinance that was in effect before the amendment after 2008?
I can't answer that
Well,
question.
we have them in the vault, we know
Yeah.
that they're in there, every one of them. We've always kept original copies.
Okay.
So
Can
it's
you
as
clarify-
simple as going into the
Fine.
vault someday if you wanna know what you had for an ordinance. I've had gone into the vault many times. But
Cliff, could you just clarify, the driveway you filled in, what was the address of that driveway? The one that you said you made, you didn't have a permit for, you waited to see what the planning board would do, you filled it back in, what was the address for that?
I cannot remember what we assigned that at the time, because that was what I said. One of the things we said, well, and I went also did this and that, but once again, John Maloney, 30 years at Avcog, and Richard, and the two of them, and it ended up that we filled it back in. I don't remember if it was,
Okay, alternatively, the driveway that exists today, do we know the address of that particular home?
45.
McNeil address.
Well, it's between 45 McNeil Road and whatever the next one up is, 47 McNeil. It's between that, if you were to stand on
Right,
McNeil
it's
Road,
on
it's
the,
between the two homes.
It's on that last
Yeah,
piece
it
of
said,
paper.
it said 45
45.
on
Yeah.
the piece of paper that.
Formerly
Scott provided.
25,
But,
Yeah,
O'Neill Road.
yeah, now
Now it's in
222,
2022.
Butterfield Road.
Yeah.
yeah, but just out of due respect, that is a road. There's 3 roads into that park. Just out of respect, I'm just making sure for clarity, it's 3 roads.
And it is mapped that way, we do have one map that
And
shows.
if everyone
that
wanted
main
to,
road.
if everyone wanted to drive out that one road, that's the road, there's 3 roads to the park. That's why I'm trying to say sometimes the terminology, entrance and driveway, it's roads, it's 3 roads into that park.
Okay.
So it's not specific to just 2 mobiles, it's
No.
relevant to the entire
And
park.
that's why.
With all the information we've got, we're gonna put it all together. If there is no reason for us to give your property a rub, we're not.
Okay.
And that's that was the whole purpose of getting together. You know, we're reaching out to Mr. Grant, and I don't blame you for wanting to be here yourself,
Well,
because
a
it's
big
your
deal.
gig.
Yeah.
So, if it's found that there is no reason to hold you or your trailer park, your mobile home park, responsible, we're not, we can't, there's no reason to. So, like I said, I already went over the events and what happened, the way it happened, and,
Well, it sounds like that's been there since 1993 according to Cliff, so,
It seems
If
like
you're
the
driving by
confusion
there
was
every
the
day.
4th road that
Yeah.
got filled back in,
yeah.
and that's the confusion, people are interchanging the 2 entrances.
and
One was
that's
filled in,
one of the things
one was never filled in because
we
it was
have to
legal.
do that.
Now that we know that, we can go back through and.
Yeah, and the state has a permit for that too, if you were to ask for it. So
I-
that would give, that would
The
have a
packet we got
different
was
form.
everything that they sent.
Well, I have a copy of it somewhere, but we never used it, so it never got signed off. I applied for one for that entrance, so there is, if you were to ask for what did Cliff ask, if you ask for Cliff's applications, you're gonna get more than the ones they signed off. they signed off on
Oh.
it too. So all I'm saying is, you're covered,
This
it's
is-
just, it ain't worth messing with.
This is
It's
everything
nothing.
they sent when I
Right,
got in touch
Yeah,
with the
no,
state. It does
no.
have applications in here.
yeah, like, there's a lot under my name, so all I'm saying is they sent what they signed off on.
Okay.
But you're all good.
So does that middle road have more than one home on it?
The entire park has access to that middle road.
It is mapped as
Yeah.
a road.
It's a road, that's why I say leave.
This-
At some point, it'd be nice just to,
I guess I'm confused when you say there's 3 separate roads. Is it all,
the McNeil is, when I say road, the McNeil Road is, I believe it's, what is it, like, I think it's 1,800 feet or something.
Right.
If you were to just put a barrier, Jersey barrier, you come in from Buckfield, you come down from Sumner, or you turn in from Route 140 halfway by the park. I don't know
So
how to
3
describe it.
entrances, but 2 roads is what you're saying.
No, there's three
One road and 3 in.
So-
entrances
So
that are
that is
roads.
not, if I were to pull my crappy truck down that middle entrance, let's just call it the middle entrance, I could drive onto McNeil Road.
Correct.
That's a
It's a throughway.
road,
It's a
throughway.
if you had to, that's why, it's 3 entrances, or whatever you wanna call it, 2 roads and 1 road, or whatever, 1 road and 2, you can call it 2
That's why you
roads
put
or
the
3
driveway
entrances.
on both sides of the trailer. We were wondering why. So driveway on one side of the trailer, driveway on the other. He must have, that road went straight through. Must have
okay,
been
and it
wide.
still goes straight through.
Yes.
in the
It's
middle,
not
it's
plowed.
kind of in the middle.
It's
And
in the
those,
middle of those.
and those,
So that
those
makes
two
common sense then.
driveways are on that road in the middle.
But they could be accessed off,
What, can you?
they could be accessed off the road that goes through the trailer park too. You could go the opposite way. So, like he said, you could go in or out any,
Everyone in
Entrance,
the
but-
park can go in or out any of the
Right,
3
but that makes
entrances, not
sense.
just those 2 modes.
I always wondered why the driveways were on the opposite sides because it was mapped that that was a road, like a T.
Okay,
So that makes sense.
okay.
I just
Well,
didn't,
that does change the situation.
I just never had enough money to Hot Topic.
Nobody has enough money.
They ran out, and that's, but,
All right. We'll be in touch. It sounds like this was pretty productive. It sounds like we were able to find out a lot.
And
And,
then there was one thing on the piece of paper that she showed me that said that all oil tanks needed to be covered, but apparently there's only 4, so.
It's the ones just inside the shoreline, so you
Yeah,
can
so
see
if
it
you
on
can
the
send me the information on the form, what you need to see out there, then we'll take care of that.
okay.
and you
But the
never
original
know.
letter said all oil tanks.
You might go to propane generators, you don't have to worry about it. Alright, so you guys all set?
Yeah, we're gonna continue on. We good? Does anyone have anything else?
Nope.
Anything further? Okay. We are past 7 o'clock.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I make a motion that we continue the meeting to last
Yeah,
longer
good to see
than,
Thank you, Tom. Apologize for all the extra work.
Okay.
let's say extend another 30 minutes.
There's water in here if you
Do you have a second?
What now?
Thank you all.
I make a motion that we continue on, yes, please, past 7 o'clock to finish up the town's business.
Yep.
All
I second that.
all in favor? Okay. Fred,
Yes.
LPI report. Anyone, water?
No, thank you.
I'm just really curious about a couple of things in reference to that. If he's got a driveway entrance permit from the state, an approved one, and it's the correct one, and he got that permit before our ordinance was in place, then it's really, we've got nothing to.
Well,
say
really,
about it.
if what you're saying is correct, that we are, that is a throughway with 2 driveways on either side, and he's got a permit from the state saying he can have it, that's a slam dunk case, it's done.
Yeah,
But
the
it didn't
confusion
look-
comes in because that 2015 stuff is something that's not even there. That is filled in and has been removed. That's where the confusions come in. Everybody's looking at that paperwork that says in 2015 that he had an application for the appeals board, all that stuff is referencing a completely different hole in the berm that he put in.
Yeah, if someone can just clarify what the address is of the actual home with the driveway access.
I
feel
can
like-
also,
It's 229, but.
No, I thought
I
it was
can also-
222.
Oh, 220,
It's
it's what, it's,
222.
If
Right.
it really
And
is
it's called 222
if you want-
Butterfield Road, it's not called 222 McNeil Road.
that, and if you really wanna look at the berm and see where it was cut and filled back in, I can show you where it is, cause I mean, I used to work over there, so I used to
so
deal
that's
with
where a lot of the
yard stuff,
confusion is.
so-
We were talking about
Talking
4
about two
entrances at one point.
There's multiple
And I
entrances.
also did use that road going through when I worked over there
If-
often, cause I would haul a trailer with a lawnmower over it.
Could a fire truck get through there?
Yeah, you can pull.
It doesn't look like it. It doesn't look
It's
like
got
that's
30 feet.
on either side, through the middle entrance.
No, you have a
trying.
30-foot hole in the berm, or 35
He
foot
said
hole
it
in the berm.
currently
You can
wasn't
pull
plowed all the way
pretty
through.
Can you go in between the trailers?
Yeah.
Yeah,
With a
That's
fire
why I'm
truck.
concerned
Yeah,
that
that's
you
why
can't
they're-
really
the-
get all the way through.
like
Because
Becky
they put
said,
another
the,
mobile home there,
Yeah,
it wasn't there, that was my only.
that's not a through, that's my feeling
Because
is that
really
it's not a throughway.
now that they've added another trailer.
well, if you look at the trailer pads themselves, it's not direct
Can you
straight.
get
It's
a fire truck through it,
well, yeah, if it's only
in
like,
between the trailers?
yeah, if it's only like 25 feet long or 30 feet long. If
Well,
it's
what's-
one of our trucks, yes, you can haul anything through there with our trucks.
If it is 222,
If you take Lewiston's ladder truck, you might have to back up once.
It is what it
Okay,
is.
can we just wait, 'cause Nick's on to something, we
Yeah.
gotta all hear
Yeah.
this thought.
if it is 222 and it's not 250, and like meaning if it is the formerly 45 McNeil Road and not the formerly 63 McNeil Road, and there's a driveway permit for 222, then it's fine. If those things are true. But like that piece, the 250, 222, 63 McNeil Road, 45 McNeil Road, like that, you have to figure that out.
But if you look at also the way the addresses go down the road, it starts on the Sumner end and it works its way down towards the Buckfield end. So 45 is up closer towards Sumner, and then 63 would be further down where that berm was cut and was put back.
Oh, that was cut and put back, so that's a different
63
one.
would have been the cut and put back berm.
Is that true about the Butterfield addresses as well? That they go sequentially higher towards Sumner?
Butterfield addresses, if it is in Sumner, it would be getting bigger as it goes out of Sumner.
But that's the only one that has the Butterfield Road address, right? All the others have McNeil.
So like it would be 222 and then maybe 250 or something.
Okay,
like that.
then if that's the case, and there's a driveway permit, and if that means that it was actually dug in 1993, then it should be fine. Like, to Jeff's point, there's questions about, if it's McNeil Road and not a driveway, then there's like road questions, that's like a whole different bag of worms.
It is. It
But,
is.
but
If what they're
driveway
saying,
piece.
what they're saying, let's stop. If they're saying it's not a driveway, they're saying it is a through road, and that it is permitted by the state. And so we go down there, or we have the fire chief go down there, and he says, I can get a truck through there, no problem. That is a road, that is a throughway. Then it is a throughway, and I kind of feel like we're done here.
Yeah,
Right,
But
but it's
in
also
the-
not plowed.
But in the event that none of that is true, then we're not. And my gut feeling is I couldn't get through there with my F-250.
But
That's
it
my-
wasn't approved as a road, was it? It was approved as a driveway.
Right, and-
Entrance, right? So I don't know how it can be a road, but.
well, and
There's
then
a
the-
driveway.
it'd be a private road,
So,
it'd be a private
and a
road.
trailer.
The whole thing's a private road.
Yeah.
Town doesn't do anything to McNeil Road.
No,
So
But
it's a private,
they still would need to maintain fire access for emergency vehicles.
Private
but
roads.
McNeil's is the only road that's named.
Yeah, yeah, because if you've got two or more homes
There's a
on
letter
one
somewhere that
road,
says-
you have to name that road, and you can't have two roads with the same name.
So that's an unnamed
There is a
road.
letter somewhere in the file that the fire department went down. Of course, this was not talking about that driveway entrance.
We're just talking
Tulsa
McNeil
Road.
Road.
It
Yeah.
said McNeil Road is fine and we
Yep.
can, we
Yeah,
have
that was a
access, so
conversation, yeah, some time ago, yeah.
that is in there.
Okay,
Unless you're worth it.
we're satisfied that a little bit of research needs to be done as far as what the town ordinances said at the time of the expansion, which was 2008, and that they're claiming that that is a through road and not a driveway. And if that can be ascertained, then we're done with the
I
driveway.
would think that road that goes from the north end and the south end is all one road, that's McNeil Road.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the one that's cut in the middle, we may have to rename that road, that's all. If there's a house on it, if there's two houses on it.
They could call it
Two
Barfield.
homes.
I mean, well, I guess they can't because there's already a Barfield Road, but yeah.
But I mean, it's all right there, it's all close, it's not like it's very far anyway, so.
Yeah.
It really, it's kind of a,
Can you go through there?
it's not wasting our time.
It's
It's
done.
not worth it, it's not worth it. You gotta pick and choose your battles.
there's no real culvert.
Okay.
It's,
Move. Do you have anything else for the
No,
LPI?
no, I'm.
Okay.
but when you're going by at 60 miles an hour.
A lot going on, but it's slow time of year, but it's still busy, always something.
I don't know if Fred wants to come.
Do we wanna make a
For our
motion
next
around
meeting
this so
when
we can put
Avcog is
closure to
coming or
it with the condition that
What's that?
someone
Avcog?
goes and looks at it and then you can let Mr. know.
Fred, can
before
you
2
drive?
weeks.
Can you drive through there?
Yeah, I haven't been through the middle road,
Okay.
I've been through from one end to the other, I've gone right through it, it's pretty rough, but you can get through there.
Okay.
It's not plowed all the way through like you said, but
Oh, it's not plowed all the way through.
not currently.
Okay, well, that's a fire, that's a safety
It's
issue.
going to have to be.
Yeah, that would be something.
That's
that
the
you-
driveway.
That's the
not-
driveway, not
the
McNeil
throughway,
Road.
yes, not the
McNeil Road is
driveway.
plowed,
Okay,
right?
not McNeil Road, but it's
The
it's
under-
the
the
one in the middle.
The middle road.
It's
No
not
Name
plowed.
Road is not plowed all the way through.
It's not plowed all the way through.
It's being used as a driveway.
Because they
Off
were,
from McNeil Road or off from
Off
the
from
state
140.
highway?
Off from
State
140.
highway.
Off from 140.
Off from 140.
So basically, McNeil Road's here. The snowbank ends. They're not connecting
Yeah.
that
gotcha.
that
Gotcha.
entrance to
Gotcha.
McNeil Road.
And there's just one house there,
It's one on each side.
one on each side, there's two.
Okay.
In theory, you're supposed to name that road then.
Well, that
Call
would
it
be-
Furlan Way.
Railway.
Sure.
do it.
Well, he can
So-
choose that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's right.
Make a motion.
I mean, honestly, I don't think there's anything to make a motion about. That thing is there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not here to guide
Yeah,
your planning board, but I don't think there's anything to make a
No,
motion
probably
about.
not. No.
You guys,
have Fred check it out, and in the event that when the snow melts and we can see and it's driven, we can say, okay, this is a throughway. It needs to be a named road for vehicles, and it needs to be safe for operation of emergency vehicles as
And
well.
that would, it would either have to be a throughway completely to McNeil Road,
Yeah.
or you'd have to put a hammerhead or a cul-de-sac there.
Yeah.
For a fire.
Yeah.
so essentially, they just got to start plowing it all the way through.
Yeah. Okay.
All the way through. That's what I would do.
You okay with that?
Again, I'm not here to guide how to do your.
No, I agree. Is that a Bumpus
So
Farm?
do we wanna add that to
No,
the
this is a-
correspondence that you're emailing them then, just so we can close this?
Throughway.
Just to say we want them to plow all the way through?
Yeah, we're sure, like, the driveway, that's the only thing keeping me stuck, is like, we know, again, for the addresses, that there's a 222 state driveway permit, right?
Yeah.
That's a fact?
Well, yeah. Does the state differentiate between the entrance and the driveway?
No.
So we're calling it a driveway.
Yeah,
It's an entrance into the park.
so I guess it
And
would
I
be
don't-
considered
I
a
don't
road
think-
if it's considered an entrance.
So the only thing that we could probably would help clarify this, so everybody when they're talking about it, is if Scott would name that road.
That's right.
In Hot Topic.
Cliff wants to see that thing hot top.
Boy, did you see his eye roll?
Oh yeah, he's just like, yeah, right, buddy. Yeah.
Okay. Norma, you said something. Do we want to have Fred attend and then?
I didn't know if Fred, I knew Fred wanted to get going, so I didn't wanna hold him up.
When's the AvCog meeting? You meet the
The
Our
18th.
next planning board
The
meeting,
18th.
AvCog is coming.
I'll be here.
Erica
I don't
Lumpkins.
I don't have anything planned. Unless I
Okay.
drop dead before then, I'll be there.
Don't say that.
That's my plan every day too.
But
Put me here unless I
every time I
die.
go to the doctor, I'm finding out I got bigger problems. So we'll see.
Stop going to the doctor. Haven't you learned?
Yeah, exactly.
That sounds like a man. That's what my husband
You
says.
don't know, it can't hurt you.
That's right.
Don't go to the doctor. You'll never know.
Doctor told me. It's like, sorry, man, you're gonna be dead in 4 years. No. Don't say it's so. All right. Open session. Any items beside the comprehensive plan that the planning board would like to discuss with Erica Buffkins when she attends the February 18th, 2025 planning board meeting? Which ordinances does the board want to focus on updating before the town meeting in June 2025? So, you guys were all there.
You guys are all set with me?
We're set.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Fred.
Thank you. Yeah,
Thank you
well,
very much.
it seems to be a little confusion with everybody, but we'll get it worked out.
We're getting there.
Yeah,
Okay.
Making
our
progress.
best. Okay.
Well, good night, all. Good
Drive
luck.
safe, Fred.
Good luck.
Careful
Have
up
fun with the
there.
snow.
I tell you, these roads aren't any better nowadays.
Okay.
Starting to frost heave.
So,
Yes, they are.
we discussed with the select board, and they were just droning on and on and on. Camper ordinance. Camper ordinance, site plan review, the cannabis ordinance, and the sub-plan ordinance,
Subdivision?
subdivision ordinance. So, any thoughts on those? It looks like Marcia already got started on the camp ordinance pretty well. The concern that I have about a camper ordinance is that when we're done with it, prior to, I'd like to send it off to MMA to have them take a look at it to
Oh,
make sure,
absolutely.
that it doesn't conflict with any of the laws as far
Alcohol
as,
can do that too.
but we don't wanna burn up our time with them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we got a comprehensive
We got a
plan.
comprehensive plan.
It's gonna take 20 years to
Yeah,
get that
but
done. as it is.
maybe that's something that we could touch lightly with Miss Buffkins when she's here next, in 2 weeks.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure she can give us a better idea.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah, she just wanted to have things ready,
okay.
if we do what you wanted to discuss.
I didn't put number of units, campers, whatever we wanna call them, in it, so I think that needs to have some consideration.
Yeah.
And it may need to just be toned down a little bit,
Are we
I do
also
think it's
going
a
to?
little, it may be a little strict. So if people wanna tone that down, I'm good with that too, but I just figured it at least gave us a foundation to go on.
I hadn't had a chance to read it yet. I'm sorry, I wasn't
No, it's
blowing it
fine.
off
No,
because it's
it's a
not.
lot. I just wanted to get it out
Okay.
there and,
What do you think is so restrictive about it?
cause there's some
Well, you just think just for the fact of having it.
that
Well,
and
I would point that in our
Two there.
what do we put it, in our subdivision, the addendum for accessory dwelling units, we did put in
Oh,
there
that's the
that you
application,
can only
that's
have
the-
one.
That's the
So, I
actual
mean, if
ordinance,
I'm not saying we wanna
the
restrict
ordinance.
one camper, but
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we've already kind of set the ground rules for,
yeah, but I mean, you're having a cookout and you wanna have 3 campers
Well,
for the weekend, I mean.
we differentiate between
I don't want
permanent.
people to look at it that way, like, what, I can't have people over to my house for my birthday weekend or, you
Yeah,
know, whatever.
I think we can put like a time limit for how long something sits. Before that, or anything longer than that, it's considered
Yeah,
full-time
there was none of
occupancy,
that
and we do
language
have
in there.
full-time
I just wanted to
occupancy.
point that out.
Okay.
Would state law
And is there?
clarify that anyways? Because you got to be 120. It's got to be moved anyways.
So
Yes.
I added 120 to it.
I was talking with Fred about that, and he said that one of the bigger issues that the municipalities are having is, yes, the state law says 120, but the state's not taking any vested interest, and they're leaving the CEOs kind of high and dry when it comes to, hey, the state law says this, they bring it forth, and then, by the time gears get moving, it's if they ever do, it just seems like it's something that just never gets any traction. So, okay. So,
That and there isn't language about, so you have a camper and then you start having someone to put a roof on it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it does need some work, it's just,
Okay,
it's
well, we
just
got,
the
we got
basics.
time, and we're getting running here.
Well, does it also differentiate, state the difference between a setup camper or just like, it's a trailer? So you just, like, if it was a car trailer, your car trailer's sitting in your yard, it hasn't moved in 3 years, but you used it to haul cars sometimes and you just haven't sold it yet or whatever, or you don't, or you plan on using it someday if you gotta tow something. So it's a trailer if it's not set up on webs, on blocks or whatever. Like, is there?
Well, are you talking about something that you use a vehicle, you have to haul it?
Well, if you've got a car hauler or something like that, or a toy hauler, like if you got like one of these big trailers, it's like you can put 2 cars back to back
You're
in.
talking about a covered trailer.
Yeah, a covered
Yeah,
trailer, or just a regular trailer.
I think we're talking more about
But-
something that someone's calling the domicile.
Right. So if the trailer is on the ground, able to be just picked up with the little tow hitch,
Still on its wheels,
still on its wheels,
hook up and go.
that's a trailer. But it's a camper when it's lifted up, leveled out, and set.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not even talking about trailers, right?
No, I think he's
Well,
trying
what
to
I'm
make
trying-
it. He's trying to make a differentiation between like what's a camper and what's not a camper.
Because
Like
they're
in
both
regard to,
trailers.
you can have it. Let's call it a
They're both
camper,
registered
which isn't
the same.
set up, and that wouldn't be. You know,
Right.
let's call it.
So what you're saying is somebody rolls a camper up, takes the wheels off and says, now it's a trailer.
No.
No.
If it's set up, like you know how campers, you jack them up, you level them out.
Yeah.
So that's a camper, right? That's set up, leveled out.
I got a
You
camper.
camp it, right? But if you take your you know whatever camper that you want to take to New Hampshire or whatever, and you park it down in the back and you leave it there, you're not camping, you're storing your trailer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's what he's
yeah.
trying to differentiate is that
Yeah.
one of them is it's sitting on its wheels,
Yeah.
it's ready
Something
to be
that
pulled
someone's
away.
winterized.
If somebody
There's-
put it up on blocks, it cannot be moved without, disassembly, you call it, and it's now,
maybe definitions need to be added to it.
yeah, just,
Yeah.
Those were
Mr. Henry's a
screenshots I was
prime
supposed to share
example.
earlier.
He's already here.
Forgot.
Yeah.
We had this.
Yeah, we have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we
you
had
did.
this.
All right.
Yeah. We're not gonna go back there, no.
Okay.
We're not going back there.
What's
Take
that?
that back then.
I have all, Norma, I didn't steal any of these. These are all, I'm gonna bring these back to you at the end.
Thank you. I have such a hard time keeping track of things.
So as far as the site plan review, what was your concerns with the site plan review?
I just don't think anything has been, it wasn't the site plan review that I mentioned, it was the subdivision, it's just.
I could've sworn something you said site plan and subdivision.
Just because I don't think anything has been done to them in a while, we just at
Okay.
least need to look at them and
Okay.
see if anything is out of date or doesn't apply or is there
and you
anything we
referred
need to
to
add.
ordinances, graph code.
Review for.
I don't know what Erica has for our ordinances either, whether, I should be sending her an email that has all of the current ordinances or,
Why would we send it to Erica?
well, she seems to have the comprehensive plan. I don't know if she has access to all of our other ordinances, but
Does she need them?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think if
She's-
anything, the comprehensive plan would inform ordinance changes, not the other way around, because like there's language in the comprehensive plan around like types of development areas, right? And then there's language
Yeah.
in some of the ordinances that say like accepted this type of like general, what's it called? General development area or
General
something. So I think like if the comprehensive plan comes first, then that would feed into like, do the ordinances remain the same and still reference that, or do they change? So it might be helpful, but probably better for her to do the comprehensive plan first.
Yeah, I think would be good to focus on
Focus
the
on that.
comprehensive plan for
That's
now.
fine. And she
Yeah,
can
for
always,
Erica.
if she
Okay.
needs to access the ordinances.
Yeah,
she
we can
go to the
provide
website.
that, yeah.
They are on the website.
Is running that stuff through MMA a difficult process?
No, you just get vague answers, you don't really, they don't wanna be liable either, so they tell you this is how it should go, we think, according to this,
It's
but
pretty bad.
They're lawyers.
No
They give you
force.
blurry answers.
It's
Well,
it's
just
an
like anything,
interesting
it's best
setup.
guess.
You
Yeah.
call up and you talk to Susie May about a certain issue, and then you don't get an answer back, and then you call back and you talk to Bob.
So sort of like Pine Tree legal
Yeah.
type, yeah.
You
call
talk to
people.
Bob and you say, I was talking to Susie May. That's not how it works. Like, you get to talk to Bob and go through it all again, and then he might get back to you or give you whatever. Like, you don't get to go talk to who you talked to originally
no.
to get an answer. It's just random whoever picks up
Like
the
a help
phone.
desk.
Yeah, it's pretty pathetic.
But that's who we got. Okay, so just kind of just a general site plan review. Maybe get that on the what am I trying to say? The agenda review, site plan review, and sub
Okay.
ordinances for sometime in March, beginning of March maybe. We can have those out
I
ready
mean,
to go.
it's totally up to you what you want to
Okay, we
work on
can
for
take
ordinances.
we can you brought it up. We can
Okay.
take a look. So, it looks like, and without even reviewing it, it looked like Marcia had a pretty good start on the camper ordinance, and then the cannabis ordinance. So one of the things that we discovered in the trainings that Marcia, myself, and Norma went, and then Norma and I had another one here.
Oh, I listened to it too.
Okay, so Marcia was there as well, in spirit.
It was painful.
It was, what the state had discovered was that folks were writing ordinances for businesses, basically a cannabis sales shop, but to basically legally cover them. But on the kind of unfortunate side of it was, if they were running it out of their home, it makes it difficult to determine if somebody has, like if somebody has a shop that says cannabis for sale, then obviously that's what's happening in there. But if somebody is selling it from their home, that it kind of makes it a little more indistinguishable. However, there was a guy who gave me his card who was in charge of the state's enforcement. I forget his name. I have it in my paperwork, but he's somebody we can reach out to and say, hey, this ordinance was enacted, and then nobody came to pony up for these businesses. So I think that's a good way of getting to see if there's any assistance the state can provide us as far as determining who's doing the business from Sumner. If anyone personally knows, I don't have social media, but if somebody has social media and sees he's somewhere in town, there's a sale or whatever, obviously that's an indicator that somebody is running a cannabis shop, even if it's from their house.
No, we don't
So
allow it.
yeah, so, and then the other part of that is, we discussed it with the select board, was looking at getting the caretakers also on the ordinance. And that is a list that we have that's provided by the state. And if you could reach out, Norma, to who was, I think that one lady who sit next to us, she was from West Paris.
I meant to look on their website to see what they had.
If we could get a hold of their ordinance.
Okay.
And one of the things, as per the training that we went to, was the state is actually also starting to come down on municipalities for overtaxing perhaps the folks in the cannabis side. But with that, the state is also putting out new regulations as far as hazards, electrical grounding, proper electrical panel installation, the exhaust for processing, and then some of the in some of the manufacturing, there are some nasty stuff that's around, and those need to be accounted for. So those all accrue a reasonable administration fee for kind of, you know, having our CEO and fire chief essentially run around and check on these places for the safety of our firefighters and obviously for the community at large.
I had let the fire department know, and I gave them the list, but that's as far as it's gone, as far as, you know, finding out what chemicals are in there and how we can find that out.
Okay. So,
I just wondered how many caregivers are there in the town of Sumner as far as the state
am I allowed to
knows?
say that?
And we're,
I don't know if we're.
Oh, okay.
I don't think we can.
I think we can
disclose.
say what
Okay.
we can.
Disclose that.
All right.
Yeah.
Good answer.
Let's not.
Okay.
Let's not.
Yeah, good answer.
Unfortunately, sorry.
Yeah, that's fine.
Forms, reports, correspondence. Further discussion for violation forms, letters submitted at the January 21st, 2025 Planning Board meeting. Discuss violations sections on fee schedule. Excuse me. This was this the one that I missed?
I believe so.
Okay. Excuse me.
I think it's not like a small amount to go over. We might want to bump that to the next session.
The only thing we had a question on was the violations section. Oh, it's not on this one, I need an updated one. Oh, okay, it says 3 times the permit fees and up to $100 a day from date of notification. So would that be just the standard permit fee or the fee per square foot?
You're looking at the fee schedule?
Yeah. We just, I wanted to be sure that I wasn't overcharging someone if there was a violation.
Well, I would assume the permit fee would be,
The 25 or the
so
50.
whatever it is, so it's $50. Their building is gonna be so many square feet, so say, let's just say $500 to get a round number. That's how much their
So it's-
permit would be for, so it's 3 times that amount.
So if we charge someone $550, the application fee and the 500, if we were fining them, you would be fining them $1,500, $1,600?
That was an oopsie.
I just,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. So before that was written when it was $10 a day.
Oh, okay.
So
Makes sense.
And obviously since then, since September 1st, we have a new set of fees. So
I mean, if you want it to be just the application fee, just the standard fee and not the actual, you know, square footage fee.
well, we can't change that. The select board has to change
Right.
it. So
Well,
what
you can you can suggest it and then they can bring it
Yeah.
to them, right?
What if we kept it at the same $10 a day?
See, I'm reading
No,
it as
it's
it's just the
$30
permit
a
fee,
day.
not the square footage fee.
No, it's $30.
Cause the
Right,
application
but
fee is
$30
separate from
He
the,
wants us to move the application fee back to
so it's
$10.
application fee.
No, that would be cool too, but.
that-
Oh,
I'm just saying.
She's talking about this here.
In addition
I
to
see.
the
3 times the
application
permit
fee.
fee, the permit fee
What
is
he's saying
Would
is
have
just
been
charge 3
$30.
times the
No,
original,
I'm
which is
just saying,
$10.
well, even if it was
Way-
$50, it would still be
way
higher
down.
than and up to 100
But
a day.
$30 a day or 40 or $50 a day.
It's like capping it at
And just
100.
instead of
Yeah.
doing 3 times the permit
That's
fee.
how
That's a possible.
Oh, yeah, I think
With
there's
the rest of your board.
Yeah, but yeah,
There could
that's
be an initial
it's up to the
violation
select
and
board.
then an ongoing.
Right,
$100
you're the one who
fee.
has to
I don't know,
say
maybe
this is what we
clarify
want.
What if,
it. Cause we're all reading it differently.
Jeff, what if instead we
Modified
widened
over
that?
time.
Listen to what Curtis is saying.
Curtis, what do you got for me, Doc?
What if instead we took that whole section, cleared it, and just put $50 a day or something like that? or
Flat rate.
Because the
Do it
previous
flat
fee
rate.
was
Because
30.
it would have been $30 a day because it's 3 times 10. And it'd just been $30 a day for every day that's in violation.
So violation is 50 a day?
Or whatever you would put forward, but like $50 a day. And instead of having all the wording to say that, just say $50 a day instead of 3 times the permit fee.
Well, because yeah, I mean the current literature says 15. Depending on your notification price, it could be like $1,500 as your original slap on the wrist, and then it's $100 a day after that. It'd be kind of rough for a lot of people.
Get expensive really, really fast.
So the suggestion, what you're saying, Curtis, is for the violation section, remove that whole section where it says 3 times the permit fee and up to $100 a day from the date of notification of violation. You're saying just to say $50 a day
Pretty much.
from date of notification of
Pretty much
violation.
just the top line. Like if you took that whole top line out
Yeah.
and just
And put
$100 a day from date of notification violation.
Even that would be.
$100 or $50 or 75.
I mean,
What do you think, Paul?
I would say it sounds good to me, but I would tend to say $100 a day sounds a little steep.
These are violators we're talking about.
Well, I know, but it's some.
What are they
I mean,
violating?
Exactly,
it's some. I mean,
Yeah.
because the way I'm looking at it is I'm looking at somebody, for instance, like you look at Jason Gammon, so he's in violation because the building's gonna fall in the street, and he said, well, I don't have the money to deal with it. So you're gonna have folks like him who say, I'm 3 days late now, I owe you $300, I'm not gonna pay you $300, and they're gonna blow you off, and then it becomes, 10 days later, it's $1,000, it just progressively gets worse and worse, and then they're just gonna, at some point, throw up their hands and say,
Well, in a
Forget
court
it.
of law, a judge will be like, that was, if it comes to court, a judge would look at, over the last 100 days, this thing is absurd amount of money, we're just gonna charge them $300. Like that's,
Right.
that's how that works. But, so.
to
so what
avoid
you're
the
saying-
court case.
So
is
what
I'm
you're saying is $100 is excessive, something more like $50.
$50, or I don't know what it said before this. Did it always say $100 a day?
Up to.
It probably did. So, what our building notification fee used to be was $10.
Right.
So that would have been 3 times with $30 up to, so $30 up to $100 a day. That's, and so, but when we changed our fees, that kind of made this confusing and kind of made it ridiculous because the fee would be 3 times 150 or up to 100, like that doesn't.
Right, but there's also a variance in fee, so maybe if the violation was worse, like there's $30 a day or up to $100 a day. So what's that? Is that like if we ruled on like which violation was in more violation than the other one?
Well, the select board does violations, we don't.
Well, right.
Yeah.
So they would.
So what you're saying is giving them a variance might give them the opportunity to either have teeth or pull it back?
Right.
Okay.
So I don't mind leaving it, but maybe setting it so that it's kind of opposite. So it's like $50 and then up to, I don't know,
150?
150 or 200 or something like that, depending on what it is. I don't see anything going up that high or needing to be up that high, but it gets expensive really fast.
Yeah. So what about like $30? 30 to 100.
It's
30
almost
30
that,
day up to 100
that would be
So when you say up to 100, is up to 100 total?
a day.
A day.
Because that's essentially what it used to be.
right.
3 times. So we would take out 3 times the permit fees and up to 100 a day. So we just say 30 violations would be $30 a day, up to $100 a day from the date of the notification of violation.
And that would leave it the same pretty much as if
As
it
if
was.
nothing's changed.
Yeah.
as if nothing changed
Yeah.
pretty much,
Question?
but it just reworded.
What do you guys
Who's
think?
gonna decide the 30 or the 100?
Well, that would be the select board.
Yeah, so I don't know why I
What's the matter? You don't like that?
I just
So if somebody's in violation today, she has to wait 2 weeks for the meeting. Today's a bad example, but say it's
Well, we
next
don't,
Wednesday, someone's violating, so you have to wait 2 more weeks to find out.
Right, which means their violation is gonna be more.
Charging them.
Well,
Probably
she
would end
would
up being the
contact-
date of the actual notification that somebody received that they were in violation,
yeah,
not just
yeah,
whenever, oh, someone noticed somebody was in violation, we start adding them up and send them a bill. It's not how it's gonna go. It's gonna
Yeah.
have to go to,
Right.
they sent them a notification, you're in violation, as of this day, you're in violation. If this isn't cleared up, you
60
will start
days.
to accrue XYZ
Yeah.
number per day.
and that would be Wednesday morning between Norma and the select board, that would have, really, it would have nothing to do with us.
Yeah.
So the select board says, yeah, or, you know, if they say yeah, then she writes a letter, boom, they get the letter, you know, certified mail, so we know when they got it, and then they start accruing. If the select board says, nah, you know, Jesse's like, oh, I'll go talk to the guy and we'll, you know, and they, you know, then that's whatever, that's the town's business. What do you guys think down there?
I'm good with whatever.
Nick? You tired? Alright, we gotta get Marcia home, she could turn into a pumpkin.
Yeah, I like the up to language only because it gives the select board some flexibility.
Okay.
That's my,
30 to 100 a day?
Yeah.
Alright, I'll bring it up to the select board at the next meeting.
Okay.
February, when's the next meeting? The 11th, select board.
Do you have that, so you can update that now, right?
Yes.
Pardon me. Alright, thank you. Sorry, I'm dirtball, I need some. Anything else? Is that it, Norma?
I'm sorry.
Was that-
blowing my nose.
Is that it for the
Yeah.
violations? Okay. It looks like we've exhausted, everything we had to do here, as well as ourselves. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I motion to adjourn the meeting at 7:50.
Motion's been made to adjourn the meeting at 7:50. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
It's been seconded. All in favor? Meeting's adjourned at 7:50 on February 4th, 2025.